Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
This morning, 2 people are facing capital murder charges in the death of their 10-year-old adopted son. Up next, why San Antonio police say he showed signs of long-term abuse.
And a teenager dies at a house party that turned violent in southwest Bexar County. This morning, what the victim's family is now asking for.
And a fox in North Bexar County tested positive for rabies. What local officials want you to know when it comes to protecting your own pets. All right, welcome into the Thursday GMSA.
Yes, let's get right into it. Meteorologist Justin Horn, get our days kicked off. Of course, it felt great outside. We're looking at 69 degrees outside, so no complaints once again in the morning.
None at all, and maybe not as cool as yesterday morning, but we're close. We're in the upper 60s, and we'll fall a few more degrees like yesterday before it's all said and done. So let's go back outside for you. 66 in New Braunfels, 69 Converse. We're down to 61 in Boerne, which is a spot that likely will dip into the 50s. In fact, they just did 59 there, 69 at Stinson. They're updating as we speak. Forecast for today, 87 at noontime, 93 for a high. And guess what? That's exactly where we were yesterday. So this is really unchanged. We'll see some partly cloudy skies during the afternoon. Now, one thing we do want to mention today is that there is a bit of an air quality issue. We've had this last couple days. Now, the monitors haven't necessarily shown elevated levels of ozone, but there is a possibility for that today. There is an ozone action day in place during the afternoon, and it could be unhealthy for some if you have respiratory issues, so we do want to mention that. But I think by tomorrow and Saturday, things will get better. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to the football forecast, the weekend forecast as well. We'll get to all of it coming up in just a couple of minutes. Ernie.
Alrighty, Justin, thank you, sir. To a horrific case of child abuse now this morning. The 2 people you see on the screen right there, Christina and Jonathan Miranda, are facing capital murder charges for the death of their 10-year-old adopted son. So this investigation dates back to September 24th when San Antonio police responded to a northeast side home. Inside, they discovered a child who had died. Investigators say that boy showed signs of long-term abuse and trauma believed to have happened over the past year. And that's when they uncovered additional disturbing evidence.
The investigation continued. They also received video surveillance of the abuse to the child. There was enough evidence to charge the 2 suspects with capital murder.
Investigators say the couple adopted the child, but police say that they were still biologically related. There were also other children in the home. Police say they are speaking with them to see if there were any other signs of abuse.
Now this morning, we got a man in jail accused of bringing a pistol and drugs into Methodist Hospital. San Antonio police say that Monday morning, hospital workers spotted 66-year-old David Crenshaw with what she believed was a gun. Crenshaw ran to a nearby bus stop where officers arrested him. Police say that he had a pistol with a silencer and THC oil. He now faces multiple felony charges, including being a felon in possession of a firearm. Now it's day 2 of the government shutdown, and the Trump administration is now warning federal workers they could face permanent job cuts. Previous shutdowns have typically led to temporary furloughs, but the White House has also frozen $26 billion in funding for several states, which is a move that critics say targets Democratic priorities. Now, Democrats pushing to extend expanded health care subsidies set to expire at the end of the year, and also the $1 trillion of taxpayer money that they're asking for will cover health care for people who are in the country illegally. Here at home, San Antonio city leaders say that the impact here should be minimal for now.
So the short-term impact is nothing to us, but if we go past 2-3 months, we'll start to see some impacts.
And once the shutdown is over, the impacted federal workers should get back pay. But in the meantime, there is help. Scan that QR code right there that you see at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, and that's going to direct you to a list of resources to help those federal workers. We already spoke with the food bank, and they say that they're ready to help. And USAA is offering no-interest loans to affected members, and the sheriff's office says it is fast-tracking their hiring. This morning, Bexar County Public Health Department has confirmed there is a fox that tested positive for rabies.
County health officials said a homeowner saw the fox behaving abnormally on their North Bexar County property And our Patty Santos is here in studio to tell us what part of the county the recent case was located in. Patty.
Hey there, good morning. Well, the county says the homeowner killed the fox and reported the incident to Bexar County Animal Control. It was in an area just northeast of 1604 and 281. And back in July, there was an outbreak in that area of Bexar and Comal counties. Now, the body tested by the Texas Department of State Health Services showed the fox had rabies. The animal did not have any contact with human or pets. And health officials said rabies is often spread by a bite. It can also be transmitted when a rabid animal's saliva touches a human or a mammal's eyes, nose, mouth, or break in the skin. Now, Bexar County Public Health Department Director Andrea Guerrero said in a statement, wild animals such as foxes and raccoons can infect pets. It underscores the importance of ensuring that all dogs and cats are vaccinated against the rabies virus. And Lynn Cooney with Wildlife Rescue and Rehabilitation says it's important to be aware but not panic.
You know, I think it's important for people not to get into a panic when one animal is known to have had, tested positive for rabies, because when you think of the, fortunately, hundreds and even thousands of members of native wildlife species who live amongst us and who we now live amongst, most of them are perfectly healthy. Rabies is a disease that's out there all the time. Of course, it's been out there for eons. So I think that's the main thing is for the media is to help the public understand that this is not a panic moment. This is just a moment to learn more about this disease. And again,
Okay, so this is the 15th positive rabies case this year in Bexar County. Pet owners should take precautions by avoiding contact with wildlife and unknown animals. People bitten, scratched, or exposed to a rabid animal should immediately wash the wound with soap and water and talk to a healthcare provider. Now, the location of the rabid animal, if it's known, should be reported to the appropriate authorities as soon as possible. Remember, there's a lot of wildlife that live in our neighborhoods, so there's no need to fear them. Just leave them alone. Ernie?
All right, Patty, thank you. This morning, the Texas Education Agency is investigating Northeast ISD's cell phone ban policy.
So this is after receiving a complaint that it does not comply with the new law. Now, the district's current policy bans cell phones during class, but allows them during lunch or passing periods. However, as KSAT Madeline Lambert reports, the TEA wants the district to tighten this policy and ban phones throughout the entire school day.
The controversy around cell phones in schools has been growing over the last few months in Texas. Now, with the TEA investigating Northeast ISD's policy, we want to see what parents think about it all.
I know for my teenager, he is always on the phone, and he's constantly during the day even texting me, and I wonder why phones are allowed in the first place in the school. I understand for emergency purposes, but they shouldn't be used freely like that, in my opinion.
What if an emergency does occur? What are the students going to do? They're not going to automatically tell us. They're going to want to try to handle the situation on their own. I think our kids have the right to be able to call us as parents to be notified.
Some say they like the district's cell phone ban policy as it is.
The current policy seems to be going well with us, as long as we can reach the child after school, or in the case of an emergency at lunch or something like that. I don't think a total ban necessarily is necessary.
Northeast ISD Superintendent Dr. Sean Micah defends the district's current policy and says it was implemented according to the law, which does not clarify when cell phones may be allowed to be used.
When those things are not defined by law, then the locally elected board can define that. That is their authority to do so.
Dr. Micah says he is responding to the state's concerns, but he doesn't see anything wrong with the current policy.
In the next session, if they want to, as a legislature, come back and define those terms, then we're going to do what we've always done as a district and comply by the law.
The Board of Trustees are expected to meet Monday to discuss the investigation. Madeline Lambert, KSAT 12 News.
New details have emerged in the Robb Elementary School shooting. The Uvalde CISD just released a fresh set of documents that includes 2 videos, one capturing the gunman's entry and attack, and another showing officers' body camera footage. Also included are records from the termination hearing for then Police Chief Pete Arredondo and details about the principal who left after the shooting but has since been reinstated. Arredondo is currently awaiting trial on 10 counts of endangering a child.
All right, coming up at 5:09, let's give you a look at traffic right here. Traffic Authority traffic. We're already starting to see some things build here. 35 southbound at Martin Street. Keep in mind that this is going to be an ongoing construction project through the rest of this month. Let's take it out northeast side of town. Some traffic building right here for our drivers going north past Topperwine Road, and also some traffic building for our drivers going south past Randolph Boulevard, past Judson and O'Connor Roads. But this is going to be all construction related for our drivers on the northeast sides of town. Let's take you now to the far northwest side, where we have cleared out some construction over here by UTSA Boulevard earlier. This was a closure right there on the westbound lanes of 10 going out to the 1604 I-10 interchange for our drivers out there in the far northwest sides of town. And we're clearing things out here at 1604 past Blanco Road. Starting to see some traffic move through there. Still have some of the construction barrels, but not too bad for our drivers on the far north side. Let's go to Alex and see how things are looking in drive cam for us on this Thursday morning. Alex.
Good morning, RJ. Well, Highway 90 on the west side is in the clear right now. I'm going to check out 151 now and head towards the north side, and I'll let you know what I see, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. We'll check back in with Alex just a bit. Justin.
Thank you, sir. We'll go outside with live cam. It is 5:10, 69 degrees. Another comfortable morning here in South Texas with mostly clear skies. It is going to be an ozone action day. We'll talk about what that means and when we might see some better air quality coming up.
5:11, your game night could get a tech upgrade. How the NBA and AWS teaming up to get fans inside access like never before.
5:14 now. It's been a month since a new Texas law to help incarcerated veterans went into effect.
Now, Senate Bill 2938 requires sheriffs to verify veteran status for every inmate at the Bexar County Jail. That meant identifying at least 218 veterans last month alone. The Bexar Sheriff's Office now shares that list each week with the Bexar County Military and Veteran Services Center. Executive Director Keith Wilson says their early connection is critical.
And help them understand what resources out there, but also to start talking to them while they're in jail.
Now, those social workers have found nearly 70% of incarcerated veterans have no home to return to, and others struggle with job loss, mental health, and substance abuse. Lawmakers say that's exactly why this law was written, to connect veterans to support sooner and give them a better chance when they get out.
Well, that is the goal for all stakeholders involved, including the Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. He sent us a statement that reads, quote, "We ask so much of our veterans and they deliver. Anything we can do to help them in a time of need, I am very much in favor of," end quote. Well, it is October, and that means we're just weeks away from Muertos Fest.
Yeah, this year the Free Festival will run for 3 days from October the 24th to the 26th at Hemisphere. And the city of San Antonio also announced this year the Day of the Dead River Parade will take place on Friday, October the 24th at 7 p.m. And the city has declared October as Spirit Season. So throughout the month, they will host several different events.
All right, cannot wait for downtown to get lit up with calaveras and Catrinas. Should be a great scene out there. So let's give you an update here with your gas prices, because if you've been out to the pump, you may have noticed a couple of changes. We've been kind of following this. According to AAA this morning, Bexar County is down to $2.76. You see the number right there. That is down from $2.91 just a week ago. We're talking about a 15 to 17 cent decrease in prices across the state, though. Bexar County, San Antonio is still a little bit higher than the statewide average at $2.74, and significantly less than the national average across when it comes to our regular gas prices. So let's kind of explain a little bit of what's going on. Last week, we explained how price cycling, what it was, and how gas stations compete with each other to raise and drop prices pretty much simultaneously. But generally, as we get into the fall months, we will start to see lower prices as refineries switch to a cheaper winter blend gasoline. And it also just comes down to something pretty simple. More of us not getting on the roads because it's a little bit colder outside.
So, just like prices for gasoline generally go up in the spring because we're seeing an increase in demand, gas prices generally trend lower in the fall because of falling demand. So if it's a normal year, if we don't see any geopolitical tensions, if we don't see any major hurricanes, gas prices over the next couple of months will likely decline.
Okay, so that was Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy. So overall, gas prices should be very affordable this fall, but we, of course, are in the midst of hurricane season, so that's always going to be a concern, especially along the Texas Gulf Coast. So let's come back out here to the graphics and show you some of what we're looking at here in terms of our gas prices with Gas Buddy right now. Some of the lowest prices across our area, 248 South Hackberry Street at Papa Zips. I need to check that place out. VP Racing Fuels looking at 248. That's going to be on the northeast side of town off of Nacogdoches. And the far northeast side of town, 249 for our drivers at the Costco out there in Selma. Speaking of the northeast side, this is where we're going to be seeing the most activity right now. That's our traffic coming southbound right there at O'Connor Road. And taking a look at our map, and you see that we are seeing a pretty good delay, about 5 to 10 extra minutes delayed right now. O'Connor, Judson Road stretching not yet towards Topper Wine, but something to keep in mind. Our traffic northbound, not too bad so far on this Thursday morning. All right, let's check in with Justin Horn now, see how things are looking outside. And Justin, at last check, I didn't see any hurricanes out there, so hopefully we're good out there.
Yes, and we're going to talk about the tropics next half hour. There is a wave out in the Atlantic. Of course, Imelda is moving away, but there is a wave that we need to watch, and yes, we'll talk about that next half hour. For now, let's talk about the fact that it is an ozone action day. That means we could see some elevated afternoon ozone. We always say those with respiratory illnesses use caution. And we've had this for the last couple of days. And one of the reasons we really haven't mentioned it is because the air quality monitors haven't really shown that we've had elevated areas of ozone. As it stands right now, we're in the moderate category. So where you see this yellow, that's moderate, and that's usually where we live. And at this level, it doesn't really bother anyone. It's when you start seeing a little bit of orange, and again, we haven't seen that. But it's possible we could, for a brief time this afternoon, that you start to run into what we call unhealthy for some. So those with asthma or respiratory illnesses, again, that's who it could affect. And that's today. I think tomorrow and Saturday, the air quality improves. So that's the good news. All right, let's look at temperatures. 69 at the airport right now, 70 in Stinson, 69 Converse, 68 Bulverde, 59 in Bernie and Comfort. So those are couple of the cool spots. I do think several places in the whole country could drop down into the 50s this morning. High temperature here in San Antonio, 93, right back where we were yesterday. Very consistent. 93 Converse, 93 Stinson, 94 Floresville. It'll be warm. For those headed to the Gucci Bowl tonight, of course, the nickname given to the Churchill versus Clark football game. That is at Ferris Stadium. Kickoff, temperatures will be around 90, by halftime 86. And by the drive home, we'll be in the low 80s. So good football weather, in my opinion. I mean, a little warm when the game gets started, but should be very comfortable once the sun goes down. No rain today, just partly cloudy skies. But I will say tomorrow, the models are hinting at a couple very light showers showing up by the afternoon. Will this impact your day? Probably not. The showers will be very short-lived and brief. But I just need to mention it. We're going to put in a 10% chance of rain tomorrow. And again on Monday, by the way, it's kind of the same setup, but no significant rain by any stretch of the imagination. And as I said, very consistent. Temperatures in the 90s every day. Lows right around 70 every day, too. I know it feels like a far cry to even think about snow at this point, but that's what my trivia question is about this morning. So what's the longest stretch San Antonio has ever gone without seeing measurable snowfall? Is it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or 9 years?
Thank you.
Think about it.
Wow.
KSAT.com/polls, scan the QR code.
Okay.
Yes.
521 right now, 69 degrees outside.
All right, coming up, Apple is putting the Apple Vision Pro on hold. More on why. And NBA fans, get ready. How a new partnership will be bringing enhanced broadcast features to your screen. Coming up.
In today's Tech Bites, Apple is reportedly speeding up development of a pair of smart glasses. The company is looking to catch up and compete with Meta's recently announced pair. Bloomberg says Apple is pausing plans for its lighter Vision Pro headset to focus on the product, which is expected to be released in 2027. Well, next, the NBA and Amazon wants fans to have more information during the games. They're launching NBA Inside the Game, which will provide AI-powered stats about games, teams, and players, all while they're on the court. It will be available across all of the league's digital channels. Well, finally, the world's first smart binoculars with augmented reality. It's still a prototype, but capable of identifying mountains and stars by name and distance. It's made by the company Unistellar and expected to be a hit with hikers, travelers, and astronomers. With your Tech Bites, I'm Morgan Norwood. Make it a great day.
Yeah, when they don't give the price.
I was going to say, I want to know what the price tag is.
It's not a
on
good
that.
sign. All right, looking ahead, we here at KSAT hope that you join us on Saturday, October the 11th at the Rocket La Cantera for Light the Night.
We got hundreds of lanterns who illuminate the sky to celebrate, honor, and remember the people impacted by blood cancer. And our Daniela Ibarra emceeing the event. We got so much more information right now, ksatcommunity.com.
Very good. 525, 69 degrees outside.
Ahead on GMSA, how the Rendon Entrepreneurial Center is planning to turn big dreams into small businesses and why it could change the community. Patty Santos has that story coming your way. And good morning. Coming right now. And again, thanks so much for waking up with us on this Thursday.
Yes, Thursday.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't know if you were asking us or telling us.
Yeah, it kind of slowed down for a second for me. Anyways, it feels good outside.
Yeah.
Yes,
Gucci
it
Bowl
is.
weather, Justin.
Yes, it is.
I love the history of that game, too.
Well, you were telling me Clark is having a good season.
Clark is 4-0. First time since
a while.
2009, I think, since the Clark Cougars. So it should be a good one. I think Churchill won last year, though. The Gucci Bowl. So
well, we'll see what happens tonight. It is tonight. Good weather for football and really for Friday Night Football, too. Let's get you out to the bus stop. Speaking of schools, and all is well this morning, too. We've got temperatures in the upper 60s right now, then 92 this afternoon. We're going to call it partly cloudy. And temperatures will be, right where they've been last couple of days. Sunrise 7:28, sunset 7:18, total hours of daylight 11 hours 50 minutes. All right, rain chances. I wish I had better news in this regard. But I do point this out that there is a very small chance of a shower tomorrow and again on Monday. Not the kind of rain that would interrupt your daily routine whatsoever, but did need to mention it that we could see a sprinkle or a shower or two tomorrow and again next week. Otherwise, it is status quo. The tropics, though, starting to heat up yet again. We'll check in on what's going on there coming up in just a couple minutes.
All right, thank you very much. A deadly night at a once popular Northwest Side club is now the center of a murder trial that's beginning today. Noah Patterson is accused of shooting and killing 21-year-old Devin Jordan King. That's after an argument escalated between two groups of people back in 2023 outside the Privat Club on the city's northwest side off of UTSA Boulevard. Our Erica Hernandez will be covering the case today on KSAT 12, and she will have what the defense's case is and why they believe Patterson is innocent.
This morning, the family of a 17-year-old girl who was shot and killed needs your help. That right there, 17-year-old Eliana Ujeta. She was shot and killed in southwest Bexar County. The sheriff's office says that she was one of the teenagers partying at the lot outside of the abandoned home on Lucky Road. Well, BCSO says that the person who did this got away in a dark-colored pickup, but detectives think that someone in the crowd had to have captured what happened. That's why her family is asking anyone with video to come forward.
Have some courage, do the right thing. We don't want this to happen again.
We're missing the piece that made this whole. We're missing it. We're missing it.
Now, of course, if you or anyone that you know has photos, videos, or information on what happened, you can submit them anonymously to BCSO. And again, that link to do so is on our website at ksat.com.
A man is in a hospital this morning fighting for his life. San Antonio police say when they went into a home around 6 o'clock last night, they found him lying on a couch with stab wounds. So this was on Elvira Street near Castroville Road. That's on the west side of town. Now, officers say two people were in the home at the time, but they are not cooperating. Meanwhile, the Eagle Pass Casino, where two people were shot and killed this past weekend, will reopen tomorrow. The Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino announced on Facebook, writing in part, quote, "As we reopen, we are committed to supporting our team, our guests, and are grateful for the strength of our community. We look forward to seeing everyone." The suspect is charged with capital murder and assault with a deadly weapon.
A student from Eagle Pass is being charged with making a terroristic threat. A Facebook post from the Eagle Pass News leader says that the student is accused of sending a text message to a classmate this week warning of a potential shooting at Seguin Elementary. Well, the district says the Eagle Pass ISD police found the student and took him into custody.
All right, 5:32 now. Bexar County voters will soon decide on Proposition A and Proposition B in about a month.
Yeah, early voting starts October the 20th and Election Day, November the 4th. Local leaders want to make sure that people know what's going on beyond the ballot. And Bexar County Judge Peter Sakai hosted a community information session to educate the people on Proposition A, which is completely separate from Proposition B in the Spurs Arena. Prop A would fund improvements to East Side properties like the Freeman Coliseum and Coliseum grounds and the Frostbank Center and the Stock Show and Rodeo. Officials wanted to make it clear that the money would come from tourist tax revenue, not an increase in property taxes.
People are saying that my taxes are going to go up, my property taxes are going to go up. The answer is no.
Of course, everybody wants to talk about the new arena, but some of these corner, landmarks, these venues have a lot of history, for a lot of people that live in this community.
Now, it's also important to mention that since these propositions include the Spurs and the rodeo, this is different. You cannot wear Spurs gear or rodeo gear to the polls when you vote.
Economic impact study for Project Marvel has been under scrutiny by city leaders. Records obtained by KSAT investigate show that San Antonio taxpayers will pay more than $330,000 for the analysis, with over $100,000 still owed to CSL International. A city spokesperson says that payment will be made once the final invoice is received and processed. CSL, which also has business ties to the San Antonio Spurs, released a July report estimating that core projects within Project Marvel could generate $500 or $500 million in annual spending, tax revenue, and jobs.
And overseas, new video shows the moment Israeli forces boarded a ship that was part of the flotilla attempting to sail to Gaza to deliver aid. The flotilla, made up of nearly 50 boats and 500 activists, includes climate activist Greta Thunberg, Nelson Mandela's grandson Mandla Mandela, and several European lawmakers. The group is carrying a small amount of humanitarian aid described as symbolic in its effort to challenge Israel's blockade of Gaza. Activists posted videos Wednesday showing naval vessels surrounding their boats and ordering them to shut off the engines. All right, more headlines this morning. The Trump administration has delayed the 100% tariffs on some imported drugs. President Trump threatened to impose the tariffs on brand name or patented drugs last week. He said the tariffs will not apply to drug makers who are building manufacturing plants in the U.S. They were set to go into effect yesterday. But a White House official says the tariffs will not be levied while the administration evaluates companies' proposals to reduce prices and increase U.S. manufacturing. However, the official says the tariffs are still being worked on.
Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton telling public schools that they must display the 10 Commandments in every classroom. And that's despite a federal district judge in August blocking the new state law for certain school districts. In June, Governor Greg Abbott signed the law requiring the 10 Commandments to be posted in the classrooms, but the Texas ACLU filed a lawsuit to challenge it. Now, Paxton says that his office will back up any school district that follows the law, even if there's a legal fight. He calls the 10 Commandments a cornerstone of America's values and the timeless principles that belong in schools now more than ever. The Trump administration says it's canceling nearly $8 billion of climate funding. Office of Management and Budget Director Russ Vought called the money green scam funding, and he said that it fuels the left's climate agenda. Vought did not specify exactly which projects are being impacted.
All right, 5:36 right now. Good morning to everyone out there. If you're about to hit the roads, let's check out the situation over by the airport where over the past week or so, we've been seeing ongoing construction activity right here. This is going to be 410 going eastbound right there at Broadway. You can see that we are down to one main lane for all of our drivers that are coming off of 281 headed towards Broadway, Nacogdoches, and obviously Harry Wurzbach Road. As you take a look here at some of the backup that we are already seeing, about 5 to 10 minute delays. Traffic not yet backed up to Highway 281, McAllister Freeway. if you will. Jones Maltzberger is also in that area. So if you live around here, have to make your way to the airport, maybe expect a little bit of delays, especially if you're coming up on Broadway or on Wetmore Road as well. This has kind of been a surprise, some construction over on 410. We'll continue to gather more information from KSAT, try and get you more details in throughout the rest of this week. Let's give you a look here at the traffic situation. 35 South, right there, Randolph Boulevard, past Hopper Wine Road, past Judson O'Connor. It is slow going right there. We're looking at about a 15-20 minute delay for all of our folks making their way south on 35, and traffic starting to build up a little bit there for all of our drivers north, headed over toward Live Oak and Pat Booker Roads, Universal City. Good morning to all of our folks there. 40 minutes is going to be our biggest delay when it comes to our inbound drive times due to that construction there on 35 South at O'Connor and Randolph Boulevard. Let's check in with Alex Gomez right now for a look at things in drive cam on the ground. Alex, what's the latest out there?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. Well, I just left the north side, and you're right. I checked out that construction area by the airport, 410 East and Broadway. Only one lane open, and this morning it took me about 10 minutes to get through that area, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much. Safe travels to Alex and everyone else making their way out this morning. Justin, how are we looking?
It is 5:38, 69 degrees, mostly clear here in San Antonio this morning. We are watching a couple of areas in the tropics. We'll show you where these waves are headed coming up.
And coming up, Walmart is cleaning up what's on its shelves, what it means for your favorite snacks and your wallet.
And it looks like construction is going to be taking over the northeast side on I-35 southbound. Now, the southbound lanes really haven't had anything these past couple of days, but I'll give you full details coming up after the break.
Time right now, 5:44. Good morning, San Antonio. If you have an idea for a business and you're not sure how to get it off the ground, there's a new entrepreneurial center that can teach you. It is all thanks to a couple on the south side that saw a need and are doing what they can to help. The Rendon Entrepreneurial Center is just months from opening its doors. Jesus Rendon and his wife Judith came up with the concept after seeing a 2019 economic impact report by the nonprofit Southside First Economic Development Council, which showed there was a need for a place to guide people.
The Rendon Entrepreneurial Center is a place where if you have an idea and you want to start a business, you can come here and we'll help you formulate your business, registered with the state, registered at a federal level with your IRS, and help you write out your business plan.
Okay, so the RAC, as it's being called, is already accomplishing its mission. Every last Friday, the outside of the building is rented to artists, vendors, and musicians who want to get their product and names out. The first business conference is set for mid-November, and the indoor space will be available to start up businesses. There's even a podcast room for rent.
The entrepreneurial spirit being cultivated here on the South Side will help not only move the economic train here on the South Side, but it'll give people their full purpose in what they believe they were meant to do.
And by the way, that building is an old post office on South Cross near Quintana Road. And to get connected with the vision that's happening in the RAC, head to KSAT.com and search Southside. Guys.
Thank you so much, Patty. Okay,
very good.
On the roadways with RJ, how are we looking today? Are we busy?
All right, yes, still dealing with some overnight construction, and I love that story there, Patty, for all of our folks on the south side of town over by South San. Good morning to everyone there. We're going to focus right now on the airport area because we're looking at 410 and Broadway. Right now, look at this right there. We have some emergency vehicles here on the scene, and yesterday, you remember, they started to pick up some of this construction activity closer to our 6:30 half hour. So we are already seeing a pretty good backup. This line of cars making their way past Broadway Street, and you saw off to the distance there that camera showing the San Antonio airport, and now traffic is backed up significantly over to Highway 281, Jones Maltzberger Road, for all of our drivers that are making their way over by McCullough North Star Mall. You're going to run into some heavy activity over here by Broadway Street. We're looking at about a 10-15 minute delay just to kind of make your way through there. Okay, downtown area, we talked about this. Ongoing construction, 35 South, I-10 going into downtown. So here's some options for alternate roads. I mentioned a few of these yesterday. Fred Road, Main Avenue, San Pedro. Those are some options, but I don't want to forget about all of our drivers coming in on the east side of town, because yesterday I noticed that there was a huge line of traffic basically stretching from parts of east side of downtown all the way to this part of San Antonio. So some potential options here. New Braunfels Avenue, that one will get you to Houston Street. You could also take Nolan to 37. That's a potential option to get around some of that construction activity. A little bit further out, you could take Walters, and that'll get you to East Commerce. So a couple different options there for some of our drivers on that part of town that are making their way on 35 South. Okay, let's check in with Alex right now, see how things are looking in Drive Cam for us on this Thursday morning. Alex?
Yeah, good morning, RJ. The northeast side, too, we do have construction on the southbound lanes. Now, the southbound lanes really haven't had any slowing these past couple of days, but they're really at work this morning. 35 South at Thousand Oaks right here. You can see the access road is blocked off. And even on the main lanes, you can see this huge crane right here. That's on the main lanes blocking multiple lanes of I-35 South at Thousand Oaks. And it looks like they're going to be working for a good portion of the morning because they are not leaving right now, RJ.
Okay, thank you very much for that update, Alex. And Justin, it reminds me of a joke I heard. The official state bird of Texas is now officially the crane. Thank you very much. I'll see my way out.
Actually, I think you've used that before, but I'll let it slide this time. All right, high temperatures across the country today, rather impressive. I mean, you look at Minneapolis, okay, it is early October. They should not be hitting 86 degrees, but here we are. 81 in Chicago, 86 in South Dakota. I mean, these numbers are impressively warm up and down the plains, and we'll be in the 90s. We just have not had one of those cold, really good cold snaps yet, and it just continues to hold off. Now, I do think by next week we'll see an intrusion of cold air, at least for the northern half of the country. I don't think it's going to make it all the way down here, but they will finally see some cooler weather in spots. Now, this is a temperature outlook, October 8th through October 12th, and at least until then, we are going to see above average temperatures. There's a very high likelihood of that. So just know that no cool down yet. All right, out in the Atlantic, we've got Imelda. Umberto has gone away. It has basically just disappeared, more or less. Winds of 85 miles per hour for Imelda, which did impact Bermuda yesterday. It's racing now. It's moving 30 miles per hour. It will move into cooler waters and eventually weaken and go away. But I want to show you some potential development here in the Atlantic. There's one little spot over near Florida where there's a very small chance of development. I don't think we have to worry about this too much, but it is this one. This is not even a wave yet. It's a wave that's coming off the coast of Africa, but Hurricane Center is now giving this a 20% chance of development. And what I will tell you is that it does look somewhat promising, and this wave is a little bit further south. So I think this does need to be watched. Could be Jerry if it does get a name. We have plenty of time to watch it per usual with it just now coming off the coast of Africa. 69 degrees right now in San Antonio, 66 in New Braunfels, 69 Converse, 59 Boerne. A very comfortable morning as it stands now. And we'll see temperatures climb to 84 at 11 a.m., 87 noontime, and eventually up to 93. Stop me if you've heard this forecast before, because it is very repetitive, but that is just the situation that we're in. And the futurecast, partly cloudy this afternoon, no rain today, but tomorrow, this is tomorrow at 2, we may start to see a couple showers pop up. They would be very few and far between and short-lived, but we have a couple models showing that potential as just sort of a slug of moisture comes in from the Gulf. I don't think it will mess up your Friday plans at all. But we do need to mention it. 10% chance of seeing that tomorrow. The weekend, partly cloudy, low 90s. Another 10% chance on Monday. But I keep using the word consistent forecast here. We had this last month, and it seems to be repeating itself this month. All right, Just Ask Justin this morning has to do with snowfall, which I know it's hard to even think about right now, but what's the longest stretch San Antonio has gone without seeing measurable snowfall? Was it 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, or 9 years? Had to dig into the archives here to get this number. But vote, ksat.com/polls, scan the QR code. Let us know what you think.
5:51 right now, 69 outside.
Okay, Walmart is making big changes to its store brand foods. Which favorite snacks and drinks are getting a makeover, and when they will be hitting the shelves? Coming up.
In your morning consumer headlines, Walmart making some changes to its food. We got the largest retail grocer in the U.S. announced that it will get rid of synthetic dyes from its store brands foods. Officials say that they are also planning to remove 30 other ingredients, including preservatives and certain artificial sweeteners. And some of the products that will be affected are the cheese dips, sports drinks, and cake frostings. Officials say that they hope to keep their prices static during this transition, and all the ingredient changes are expected to be completed by January of 2027.
Microsoft is doubling down on price increases for its Xbox video game subscription service. The company says it's raising prices for the console's top subscription tier by 50%. That brings the cost of an Xbox Game Pass Ultimate to $30 a month or $360 a year. In contrast, Sony's highest subscription tier for its PlayStation system is $160. Gamers took to social media to complain about the hike, with many saying they are canceling. The lower tiers of subscription services on the Xbox will not see any price changes.
Okay, we got the government shutdown continuing and federal workers are being affected. Well, San Antonio City Manager weighs in on it next on what this means for our city.
And the Texas Education Agency is investigating Northeast ISD's cell phone ban. Why the district is standing by their policy for now.
And we have photojournalist Alex Gomez out and about all morning long, taking a live look at the roadways for you. We're going to see what your commute is looking like. Stick around. GMSA at 6 starts in a couple minutes.